Dun, 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 dun.
Welcome to the Friday
you.
Matinee here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm T.
I didn't even give you the
You didn't know eyebrow
You just
today.
knew. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a connection
And
there.
that's George.
Happy Friday. Yes, that's me.
Happy Friday, definitely.
You know, T.
Yeah.
Good to see you. One of my favorite types of shows to do or to watch is like the single set, small cast drama or comedy. And
You
it
can
always,
get lost in it. I
and
love
that's the
it
thing.
too.
I always it always amazes me. It's in one locale, so there's not a whole bunch of switching around. Which, first of all, it keeps the story going.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that it always amazes me how this one thing where it's, as someone once put it, it's fake stuff with people pretending to be other people and fake furniture and fake process. Somehow they manage to bring you out metaphorically out of your seat and into the art of the story and bring you back with the perspective that's
It's
usually
like
that's
immersion theater, and when the material has relatability, you become part of it, and it's a lovely bond that is created. With us today, we have from Steel Magnolias, which will be taking place at Grace Baptist. Coming up shortly, we have Candace Hill, Sherilyn Hegg, and Monique Newman. Welcome to the Friday Matinee.
Hey, happy matinee.
Steel Magnolia is one of my favorite stories. You don't have to be from the South. You don't have to go through everything that the characters go through, but almost every moment of this show has some relatability and the snappiest of dialogue that'll, pull your heart out, snap it back in your chest, and suddenly you are laughing. And this is it opening on the July 15th, ladies?
That is opening night.
Now, again, go through, introduce yourselves, and tell us what you're doing on behalf of this fantastic show.
I'm Monique Newman. I'm a co-producer.
All right?
I'm Sherilyn Hegg, and I'm Truvy.
Nice.
We're in her shop. My name's Candace, and I'm playing Shelby, and I'm producing the show as well.
Very
Wow.
nice. So, and this is opening on the 15th.
Yes, for 7 nights.
All
July
right?
15th at 7 p.m.
That's a week.
That's a week.
A week today.
Oh, so are you in tech this week? Is this
Yeah.
the tech Hades, as it is referred to?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and this show, how did it come about? What brought it to, to light for you? Tell me a little bit about the process and how this has been for you.
Well, we were always looking for quality material, and we've got a lot of really strong female actors in our company at the present time. And so all of us are really reading material all the time. And I just came across this play. We all love it. Everyone knows it. And it really fit with the actors that we have. So I brought it to everybody. We did some read-throughs, and it really felt like home, and it felt like we could accomplish this play. And
What's the name of your production company, or the company that you're working with?
We're called Epiphany.
All right.
We formed in 2001, and a lot of our actors are Meisner trained. We're really serious about our craft and the artistry involved. So as she said, we're always looking for material. It's got to resonate with our heart. Theater has this amazing power to grab you, and film can do it, but when you're in the room, you're seeing the whites of the eyes of the actors, and the molecules around you are being disturbed. There's just something that really
There's something
gives
about
you
the
goosebumps.
energy of the live theater experience that makes a huge difference. And you're right about, film, there's all kinds of things you can angle and put together, but it's not the same.
It
And
crackles. The
I
air
think
just crackles.
That's like, it amazes me when people watch a film to try and get a character basis for a live production. I'm like, that's like, I don't know, it's kind of apples and oranges to me because it's such a different take. So this is 2001. I know that we'd actually talked a couple of years ago, hard to believe already, with Curious Savage. You guys put that out. And so this is, do you have like a regular season, or is it based on what you just find that grasps you at the moment, just kind of on occasion, or how do you decide the
next
continuity of your projects? Yes.
We're in the process of developing more of a regular season. It's been as material grabs some of the directors, we bring it to the company, and it ends up produced. This has actually been a 1-year process just because of the getting the permits to do the play.
Bet.
So we're anxious to actually get this on its feet and share it with the Santa Clarita community. I think during the reading process or sometime in this rehearsal process, Sherilyn actually met someone who knows some of the real life characters this play's based on.
I did. It was so exciting. I was just at a gathering, and there was a young couple who said they're from Louisiana and were from the parish in which this play takes place, and they knew the story. They knew the people. The people were real, and it was so fun to hear that. Robert Harling. It was his sister that he was motivated to want to tell her story. It was just really fun.
And again, the dialogue on this show, it's some of my all-time favorite. There are certain scenes that are so delicious and so wonderful, and it is a very, very rare work that can have you just weeping in your seat, and you're so touched by the storyline, and then all of a sudden you're laughing, and you almost feel bad. Like, oh, I did something naughty, I'm laughing in the middle of tragedy, but very often, material and sadness and time can equal some comedy, and it's a very lovely work. Is there anything in your lives that you find you've resonated with besides the some of the characters? Are there things in each of your own worlds that you're bringing to this? That Meisner Actors you're bringing that up from somewhere inside. Is there anything that touched your lives that you're bringing to this table?
Well, I just feel like there's so many different things that these ladies deal with that all of us as human beings deal with in our everyday lives. Especially the relationships thing. And I just think for myself, I do see a lot of real people in my own life in these characters, which then makes it much easier to love them. And it's been rich.
The other ladies, anything you can bring to the table that's...
Well, as Monique stated, this production it's been a little bit of a long road because we had to wait for the rights from New York. And, this company of 6 actors and the crew that helps us as well, life happens. So there's been deaths, there's been tragedies, there's been joyous weddings. We have experienced life alongside these characters. And I think to really life is bittersweet. It's never going to be sweet, and it's never going to be horrible. So in those moments, to really search for joy in the sadness and to lean on people. I mean, the biggest thing about these women is that they didn't go through life alone. And I think sometimes when tragedy strikes, you can have a tendency to isolate and wait till you kind of get back up to speed before you go out. And that can be a coping mechanism, but it's so rich to be with people and to hear other people's stories and to support them when they need help. So it's been quite a beautiful and spiritual experience, I think, to have such a long rehearsal and to experience life and then mirror these women. I mean, the relationships of these actresses we're tight, and it's
that is a
honor.
lovely thing when you have friends who won't let you go through things alone.
Yes.
And that was the thing. Steel Magnolias is aptly named because those women were made of very strong stuff, and they were not about to, just let so-and-so have their grief, just let them go through. They were in each other's faces, and they were, constantly pulling on each other. George, I know we talked before we started about your involvement at one point in time with the Steel Magnolias. How was that for you as a man to be really kind of on the outside looking in?
2 men directing, how many women? 6 women. Well, I want to say, first of all, just in case we're in making the assumption that everybody knows that Steel Magnolias is, of course, it was a film in the late 80s or early 90s. Had Dolly Parton and Julia
Roberts, Sally
and
Field.
But it actually, the play is even more wonderful because it takes place, like I said, single set. It's in Truvy's in-home beauty parlor. And so it revolves around the lives of 6 very, very, very different characters. So I know that in our case, I would say, I'm trying to remember the character that actually gets the radio station. She's the
Clary.
Clary. That's right.
KPBD. agree.
The actress that we cast as Clary was almost against type because she usually played like the curmudgeon. Her name was Patty Finley. But she was, and so to get like the kind of the joie de vivre spirit out of someone who was usually playing kind of the hard-nosed, elderly or slightly older woman was something. So there was finding that little subtlety there and bringing out, because each character is so rich, but each character also has such an independence that making sure that the actors involved understand that, and that there is a lot of, you really have to dig deep, especially because it is an emotional play, not to give anything away, but it is a very on all levels of humor and also in touching moments. So I found it fascinating, but that's this, and of course it takes place in the South, and just the Southern hospitality and the traditions and things like that. I think they do mention the Piggly Wiggly in there, things like that. So I think it's a great play, and I tell you to bring women together on that, and I'm assuming that in this process everybody has kind of bonded together like sisters. Am I right?
Oh my goodness. We were all friends to begin with, but this has made us like soulmates, I think.
Thank goodness, because right as that was coming out of my mouth, I said, "What if this isn't a good experience? Are you kidding? I never want to work with these people again." You got to think about that in radio. But that is really good, and I think, and so with that, I want to talk a little bit about the other character, the other actors in the play who we're missing, and who are they, and what characters do they play?
Let's see, not present today is Barbara Beckwith portraying Malin, Shelby's mom. Who else?
Clary.
We have Clary, who's also directing, Andrea Rodriguez, in a very tough job of being in a role as well as directing the other women.
Of course, Weezer.
And Weezer. She is portrayed by Lori Healy. That is the prickly porcupine character.
She's my favorite.
With a heart of gold.
Speaks the truth.
Hit her.
Right.
She loves her dog.
Her dog Rhett, am I correct?
Dog Rhett, who's
And-
a
yes.
collie.
And there's a Nell.
And-
And then a Nell portrayed by Pamela Chavez. But back to our Weezer, who loves her dog. We actually have had our actress there at rehearsal with her little Maltese who has separation anxiety.
Oh, really?
So as we're rehearsing
really
about
is a
this
Rhett.
porcupine,
Yeah, that's funny.
she's got this devoted little dog looking up into her eyes, and it's hysterical to see the contrast.
There really is a spectrum in personalities, because you think of Clary as so bubbly, and then Weezer is such a, she
Attitude.
still expresses herself and expresses her feelings, but she masks it. Like, I don't want to I'm giving a little bit away, where she gets a gift and she goes, "Well, isn't this nice? With all these colors, it'll cover up the dog hair, and things like that, where it's like her way of saying, "Thank you very much. This is very touching," And I know people like that, and
Yeah,
it's
me too.
So it's pretty amazing that, and there's always such a relatability to each of the characters, whether or not you've been through something like, what ultimately the story is about. Again, don't want to give it away.
And
You
even
gotta
if
see
you
it.
don't go through it, the idea that you get to peer into the window of maybe someone who has, it gives, the nice thing about a play like this is, even if you have absolutely no relationship to what's happening in the story, you develop an empathy for these other characters. It's a great learning tool, I think, theater can be. Now, the show opens on the 15th. I know you've got primarily, it looks like, Friday and Sunday performances. You have one Thursday in there, but it's for
Correct.
3 weeks. If people would like to get tickets, tell us a little bit about that.
Tickets are all available online, although we will sell them at the door as well. Easiest thing to do is to go to gracebaptist.org/steelmagnolias, and that'll take you straight to our Eventbrite page, where we're asking for a suggested donation of $10. However, if you'd like to give more for your ticket, you're welcome to, or if less, we don't want finances to keep anyone from getting
everyone
to
should go
enjoy
see
this
this show.
experience.
And
And
that
maybe give
is
a little
really
more
wonderful.
for someone else would be my advice. So it's gracebaptist.org/steelmagnolias.
That's it.
And that's it.
That'll take you
and
there.
that's how we get it. All right. And opening on the 15th, that would be a 7 p.m. performance.
Correct.
And then the Sunday performances, 5:30 p.m. And then that one Thursday, the 28th
Correct.
of
Yes.
July,
Yeah, that's it.
will
Also
be
beginning
up
at
7 p.m.
7.
Okay.
Right.
And now what's I've been to Grace Baptist. There is no bad seat. So the good thing is there's a lot of room, and everywhere you go, it's a lovely performance venue.
We actually are using the F Modular Theater.
Okay.
So if you're thinking of our large worship area.
Wasn't sure where they were putting this.
But for that intimacy of a play like this, the F Mod is just perfect. Watch the signs. The buildings are marked. You'd look for the F Mod.
Okay.
And it is self-seating, so if you
Even
come a
better.
half hour early, pick the best seat.
Come early, come often. I think that's great. And honestly, see it and then bring someone else to see it again. I want to talk a little bit because you were talking about maybe putting a regular season together. Do you have anything else in the works? Are you considering something ahead? Is there something that you can kind of tease us with?
or
by any
even a
chance,
dream
or-
project that you're thinking you might want to bring in?
We're exploring possible mystery comedy for mid to late fall. I believe Grace Baptist is planning on bringing up Come and See, our large Easter celebration performance. So there are some things on the horizon.
Do you have a dream project? What, like you think? Oh, you know what? Or even a new work or something you'd like to have created. Have you thought of that? What would be the?
We have created some original pieces in the past.
Is there anything that you're thinking?
Well,
I really want to do.
Our Clarita, Andrea, is writing a play based on the life of her mom. It's just going to be great. Normsy, we're thinking that might be the title, but her mom is now in an assisted living situation, and Andrea has interviewed, if you will, filmed some of these ladies that her mother lives with, and they are hilarious. And so she's actively writing that play now. So hopefully
All right,
that
fingers,
won't take
fingers
long.
crossed that we'll be here. We'll be bringing you back
Yeah.
in for that. So.
Yeah.
So I want to talk finally about backgrounds now. Monique, we might have touched a couple of years ago when you were here, but it's always good to refresh because that was quite a while ago. And you're here in Newhall, so whatever you said before doesn't count. So let's start with you, and then we'll work our way around. As far as like how you got into theater, what your acting background, theatrical background. I know you also you do guide dogs as well. I was hoping you were going to bring a puppy. Of course I do.
Oh, she's 13 weeks now, so probably not the best to bring her to for this. I'll come back and talk about them at another time.
That'd be great.
I feel like the acting bug's been in my family through my mom, so I came by this gene honestly. So it was a passion through college, and then actually Epiphany reawakened it. Getting further training through Corey Nathan and the Meisner experience has been just a breath of fresh air and a challenge. So it's been great to be able to act with this Epiphany company as well as produce. And next we have Sherilyn.
Well, I've always liked being kind of a ham. And that has carried me through for years. I lived in Corona, California for 15 and a half years and was very involved in the music ministry in our church there. My husband's the pastor. He's actually the pastor at Grace Baptist, also David Haig. And when we moved from Corona here, I still was involved in music, but I came to be invited by these wonderful people to join them in their Epiphany drama. And I love it. It's just been so much fun, and I feel like it's just, as a person, it has made me blossom a little bit, and also I've just made some fabulous friendships. So.
All right, and then Candace?
Well, I was raised in Santa Clarita Valley. I've been here since I was 5, and my father, Craig Hill, works in the film and television industry, so I actually professionally acted as a child, starting when I was 3 or 4. Had an agent, had pictures, did stuff, did projects, and then got out of it when I became like a teenager, and always trained. And then I kind of lost my nerve for acting there for a few years, so I stage managed a lot. And when I came back to Epiphany probably about 4 years ago, joined this company, and I started getting back on stage for the first time since I was a kid. And this project, you mentioned Dream Projects, I really consider this one a dream project.
Nice.
It's my first time producing a project and taking this big of a part, getting the opportunity to play. And she's a real life person. And I mean, she's since passed, but an incredibly rich story with rich history. And it's just an honor. So I think I'm going to have to look for a new dream project.
You've hit it. You've already hit the stride. You gotta
Pete,
go.
don't know.
Steel Magnolias performing at Grace Baptist Church. You got July 15th and 17th, the 22nd and 24th, and then the 28th, 29th,
31st.
31st. It's Thursdays and Fridays at 7 p.m., Sundays at 5:30 p.m., and it's a suggested $10 donation to attend, but by all means, if you have more to give, that's awesome. Or set a little aside for someone who maybe can't quite come
Exactly.
up with that.
And you
Bring
can
a
get
friend.
those tickets at gracebaptist.org/Steel Magnolias. And yes, they will be selling them at the door also during performances. Get there early so you get a good seat and definitely, as George says, see it once, see it twice. Every energy is a little different. Every house is a little different. It is one of those shows to be seen more than once.
Exactly. Thank you so much for stopping by. Steel Magnolias again at the Grace Baptist Church coming up. This is the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We'll be back right after this.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne Rhymes for the Country Showdown, America's largest country music talent search. The Showdown has helped put many local artists on the road to stardom.